Transformation Tuesday. It's that time of week when I'm gonna step on that scale and hold myself accountable to all of you and fess up for how I have been doing all week long in this journey to health. One of the things that has actually been a great support and encouragement to me this week, in case all of you missed the announcement last week, we have created a very special group on Facebook just for those people who want to be on this journey to health. And you can see right here what the banner of that group looks like. And I will actually have the link to that group posted for you down below in case you're interested in joining that group. It is a closed group, so we're trying to be very selective on who we allow in the group. As a matter of fact, I have had to remove some this week just because I felt like, based on comments that have come in on some of my videos, that maybe the motive was not quite pure for them to be in the group, because we're not allowing criticism and hateful words back and forth towards each other. It truly is a group to support each other and to encourage each other on. One of the things that I have discovered through many years of struggling with weight myself, the ups and downs, and not only for myself, but counseling with people who also struggle with the same issue, is that the last thing people need when they're struggling in an area is to get punched and knocked down, so to speak. Not necessarily physically, but emotionally and mentally. And that actually happened on one of my videos last week. Just to be honest with you, it angered me because I have been completely transparent with all of you guys. I think I started the Transformation Tuesdays back in August, maybe September. At any rate, it was about 6 months ago that I started this series and was producing the videos for you guys back then and keeping you up on my weight loss journey, and had poured out my heart to you about what I felt like God was calling me to as far as taking care of this temple, this vessel that He has given me, to be a good steward of it. And I fessed up to you guys about how I had used the house construction we were under as an excuse to not eat good. And I mean, I just really poured it all out to you guys and was being very transparent with everything that I was thinking and feeling, and very honest about making excuses and instead of having valid reasons. And yet I still had somebody come on one of my videos talking about making excuses and that I just need to be unhappy with being overweight and make a choice to do something about it. And to be honest with you, when I read that comment, and whether or not that was even the way it was meant, that was certainly the way it was stated and the way that it came across, and it angered me because I thought, you know, I have been as transparent as I could be. I have admitted to the excuses that I have made. I have talked about the need to do something about this, even from a spiritual perspective. And yet even though all of that was bared out in front of you guys, still the criticism came. And yeah, that definitely angered me. And it angered me for all of you guys who are also in the same boat, because one of the things that I've learned, no matter what the addiction can be, whether it's food and sugar, or whether it's alcohol and drugs or sexual addictions, any kind of addiction in your life, when you really are at the place to where you are trying to be accountable and you have realized that you are making excuses and you're trying to stop the excuses to continue doing better, the last thing all of you guys need is the negative critical remarks, because all it does is set you backwards. I know that there are many people concerning the whole weight issue that will look at overweight people and say, you just need to stop eating so much. Just don't eat that. And it's really not quite as simple as all of that. And unless you have struggled in any area, whatever the addiction is, sometimes it is really hard for you to have compassion and understand that it is a process and a mental change that has to happen that needs support and love and guidance instead of criticism, because criticism is never the answer. And I know a lot of people do that with the right motives and with good intentions, because they feel like if I can point out the negative and if I can offer constructive criticism, it'll motivate them, it'll anger them towards motivation. But really, it is an anger that is aroused that sets you back. And so we're not allowing any of that in the group. And when somebody comes on the channel, or I see comments on other people's channels, because there's a lot of people right now that are on a health journey that are creating their own videos. And when I see people who are negative or critical and not encouraging and uplifting, those are the people that we are not allowing in the group, because this, I want to be a very safe environment, a support group online where we can bare our soul, where we can talk about our shortcomings, talk about our weaknesses without fear of retribution, that someone is going to come on and criticize us for that and point out all the negative and get on to us, so to speak. Because the reality is, when people are sincerely trying to change, they already know what they're doing wrong, and they're bearing their soul, and they're trying to get it out there that, listen, I know what I've done wrong, and I don't need to be kicked when I'm down, and I don't need you just getting on to me again. Just encourage me, love me, and help me through the process. So if any of you guys are interested in a group like that, then definitely click the link below, and we will evaluate and see whether or not we're going to be able to allow you in. And of course, the minute that we see any negativity, out you go. The thing about it is, I think that a lot of people join groups like this because they're a little nosy, because they just want to see what's going on instead of being active participants in the process. And this is a group that I want to be for those who are really going to be active in this process. If you're wanting to join just because you're wanting to read along and just because you're kind of nosy about what's being said or what's happening in my life or other people's life who are in the group, then it's not the group for you. We want you to be serious about this journey. We want you to be on this journey with us, and we want you to participate by talking about issues. And even if you don't want to necessarily talk about your own issue and bare your soul right away, to at least offer encouragement to those who are, because that's the whole purpose of the group. So just putting that out there and letting you know in case you missed the announcement last week. And it is going to be a very strictly monitored group, because we do not want it to turn into debates and arguments and criticism and things that are going to knock people backwards. So at any rate, we have had some great discussions this week. We have given some challenges and some goals, some small steps that people can start making towards health. And it really has been encouraging. As a matter of fact, today is Transformation Tuesday. So that is the day when we all post our updates as far as weight or what changes that we've made, even if we're not necessarily focused on weight right away. And to see some of these ladies expressing themselves and talking about the changes that they've made since last Tuesday, it has been so fun and encouraging, and it's been encouraging for them as well. So consider joining that group, but take caution before you do, because anything negative or just being lazy and kind of voyeuristic about it, out you go. But at any rate, it is time to go ahead and give you the update. For me, personally, I had a really great week. Most of you know that we were on a 21-day fast with our church. So from last Tuesday when I weighed in with you guys until Saturday, we still were at fruits and vegetables only. We weren't eating meat or dairy or sugar or any of that. We broke the fast at 5 o'clock on Saturday night. So since 5 o'clock on Saturday until today, we have been back to what would be considered just normal diet, if, you know, whatever you choose to do. For me personally, I have pretty much kept the fruits and vegetable thing going. I have had chicken one time, and I did have fish, but of course we were doing fish too on the fast. I forgot about that. We're doing fruits and vegetable and fish occasionally if you wanted fish. So I have had some fish this week, and I did have one chicken yesterday on a grilled chicken salad. But other than that, I have not incorporated back fully yet on the meat, and I'm gonna try not to become vegetarian or to become vegan, because I think there can be some health drawbacks to that as well. You gotta be careful when you're making extreme changes, but I want to try for a little while at least to keep my diet mostly the fruits and vegetables for a while, just to continue the detox process that my body's been going through for the last 21 days. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I told this in the group, when we broke the fast on Saturday, I was determined I was having chocolate. Because you got to remember, I'm not going cold turkey, cutting out every single thing. I think everything in life can be done in moderation if we're careful with it, and I don't think it's like a sinful thing to eat a piece of chocolate or some sweets once in a while. The problem becomes whenever it gets out of balance, and that's all you want. So there have been just a couple of times this week where I have had a few little sweet things, but I haven't even been craving them. As a matter of fact, Sunday night with our youth group, we had brought in a little cake, and we're going to have like a real talk session with the kids on Sunday night. And I had them cut me just a small slice of cake, and I thought, okay, I'll have just a little piece of cake sitting here with the kids. Won't be too bad. And I did not even have a desire for it. I took one bite, and it was just so sweet and rich after not having sugar for so long that I did not even finish that piece of cake and haven't had any more of it since then at all. So I know that not only the detoxing process of physically, but even mentally, just allowing the Lord to help change my mindset about food and really trying to take care of my body and be a good steward of what He's given me. I've definitely increased my water intake, and I'm back to measuring my ounces and have been incorporating that apple cider vinegar. That is a really good health tip. You guys need to look that up and do a little bit of research on that. We haven't really gotten the exercise going this week because we've been so busy with other things and with things around this house and running here and there. We just really have not gotten a chance to get out and do our walking as a family. But I am moving more, even in here, just like standing in the kitchen and putting together a snack, you know, doing squats while you're standing there and doing your stretches and getting the arms moving and things like that. So I have incorporated some movement, although I don't know if you could consider it full out exercise yet. So all of that being said, and with those good changes that happened this week, when I stepped on the scale this morning, I was down to 238.8. I was very excited about that because that is a weight loss this week of 4.8 pounds. So almost 5 pounds since last Tuesday. So I was very excited about that. You guys know that I am going to give you the measurements for my waist. I'm not worrying about measurements everywhere else because for me right now, my health issue is carrying it around my waist, because we all know that women and men who carry the bulk of their weight around their middle is a lot more prone to things like heart attack and severe health issues. So right now I'm focusing on the middle. So last week when I measured for you guys, I was at 44 inches. And this morning when I measured, I was at 42 3/8. So I'm excited about that. That means that I have lost 1 5/8 inches around my waist, which is a little over 1.5 inches just since last Tuesday. So that was super exciting to me, because remember, if you go all the way back into some of the other Transformation Tuesdays, we talked about that as you begin moving and building muscle, muscle weighs more than fat. And sometimes the scale doesn't move real fast, but you feel yourself getting smaller. So when you're getting smaller and the clothes are fitting better, the scale may not be moving, but you're doing something right because the muscles are getting toned and it's burning fat, but the muscle's going to weigh a little more. So you might not necessarily see the scales moving a lot, but you're going to see the changes in how you look. So I'm feeling really good today. I'm feeling a lot healthier with being off of the sugar and the junk food and You know, I'm not going cold turkey and not giving it up forever. I don't feel like the Lord's asked me to do that yet. If he does ask me to do that, then that's exactly what I'll do. But I'm going to be very careful on how much I eat it and consume it, because sugar is definitely not friendly for your system at all. And if the goal is being healthy, then we want to put things in our body that's going to create optimal health. So I know I'm still detoxing, and I know that I'm pushing out the fat cells, which can also store an overabundance of estrogen and all that stuff that's not good for you. So I'm feeling good about that. Definitely flushing everything out with a lot of water and definitely getting moving. So that's my weekly update this Tuesday, and I want to hear from you guys. I know some of you who are in the group have already started weighing in for us. No pun intended, but you've already started checking in on that post today, and you've already been giving us some updates with you. But if you're not in the group and you don't care about joining the group, or if you've not been allowed in the group for one reason or another, and you want to give us some positive feedback and let us know how you did this week, then please comment below. We definitely want to know how you're doing and how you are making even small changes to begin with to make 2016 a much healthier year. So let us know. Let us know. I want to thank all of you so much for sitting here and joining me for this Transformation Tuesday. We will see you soon in the next video.